Level Up Latina partners with working women and mamas alike to guide them in achieving fulfilling career and life goals through financial empowerment, professional or leadership coaching, and personal wellness. Find the unique coaching you need to succeed. Welcome to another episode of the Level Up Latina podcast. This is episode, I believe, 263. Ya entrados en septiembre, and today we're going to talk about grief. And grief, I know it comes in different forms, and I know in the past we've had episodes where we talk about grief. I know I wanted to bring it back to the table today just because of, the mood that I was in, and I was feeling emotional. I was sharing with aquí mis cojos en la mañana that I was feeling some sort of way, and de algún modo the podcasting serves me as a way of like grieving and like talking about it and like letting like an outlet, no? So before we get started on the topic, and I wanted to check in con mis cojos. ¿Cómo están?
Happy to be back.
Excited to talk to you ladies and share so much. Se me hace que hay tanto que platicar.
I know. Hay tanto que platicar. Yeah, I this morning is our first time recording. We're back to normal scheduling. This is the second episode, our regular scheduled episodes. And so when we were talking about like what to talk about, I was telling my co-hosts, like, we've all experienced grief in the form of losing a loved one, a friend, a tío, in Irene, in my case, we've lost a parent already, and so it comes in different forms. También puede ser como la pérdida de una relación. So I wanted to get started with the question, what form of grief are you, if you are currently experiencing grief, like what form of grief are you experiencing right now, and how have you accepted it, or what are the challenges that you see right now as you're experiencing this grief?
I can start with something that's not like traditional grief, if that's okay. The grief that I've been experiencing in my family is like the grief of sending a child away to college that no longer lives under your roof and is not super accessible or close. He's in a different state, very far away. It's not the same as losing a child. So I want to start with that. It's very important to say losing a child is real grief. I'm not trying to be dramatic or ridiculous, right? Because some people say, they just moved to college. I get that, but there is grief that comes with you as a parent no longer having, and I may get emotional. I think we're all going to get emotional as we talk about like the season that we're in, because grieving is about like something no longer being the same. So I guess I'll define it in that way. It's heavier than that. But in my case, it's something that is no longer the same, and it'll probably never go back to being what it was. So that's something sad. You got to mourn that. So mourning, I guess, is more of what I'm feeling. Vero's already ready to cry. She's a little one. She's a 2-year-old little.
I know.
Vero. Don't even let me get started.
No.
When I first got back from dropping off my son, super sad, hella sad. I was sad going into it. I was always sad. I'm a sad person, and I love being sad, so I'm mushy all the way through. So
we were sad with you, like we're just watching all your videos.
I know. I was sad for a year. Like I was sad and a good sad. Every time people would ask me how you're doing, I'm happy and sad. I'm excited and sad. It was always together. Going up into leaving him, I was sad about the fact that he's becoming an adult. He turned 18 while he was there. So you don't want to forget their whole life living with you. Like they were little, they were smart, they were funny, they were everything they were. They're like no longer that kid. So that's sad. And you got to mourn that they're no longer a kid. Coming back from having taken him, I'm not sad about my son living there because we have a good relationship and we talk, and I'm super happy he's got so much going on already. He is so happy and he loves the school. And I know it's only been 2 weeks or whatever, not even, but he seems so happy. Parenting is coming to a close for our family, and that is hella sad. It feels like our days are numbered as a family. And the saddest thing that I think I went through when I came back was that like the next day was my daughter's high school orientation. And I know I'm supposed to be happy for my daughter, who's so excited. She's 14, she's going to high school. But guys, I get to this school and all I could think about was it was his school. And he went there, and the first time he went, and how he's no longer going to go there. And no one remembers him. I'm over here feeling like, is anybody going to ask me about the oldest? And that is stupid. But I didn't want to tell my daughter that. I'm trying to hold it together. Everything reminded me of him. We went into the ASB room, and they were bustling, and it was love and it was joy. And I'm like, that's him. Like he would have been in here. We went into the room where they took the ID pictures, and it was his business teacher, and he loved his business teacher. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so-and-so's class. I sent him a picture, like, look what we're doing. And like, all I could do was think about him, but he's not here anymore. Like this is not his life anymore. He gave me all his gear from his high school. Some of it has his last name on it. Some of it's rugby, some of it's soccer. I'm like, you're getting rid of this stuff? Yeah, Mom, you can have it. I know you'd want it. He gave me everything that was like, his high school is over. It's over. And I'm really trying to get excited for it being my daughter's experience now. At the end of that visit, we ran into the theater people. They knew her. She was glowing. And it was, what is that saying that my mom does? Like, cerrar con broche de oro? Is that what the saying is, guys? Like, I was, okay, this is what I needed. I needed to have gone through this process of going through this school. Everything reminded me of him. I kept thinking someone was going to ask if I was his mom because of the last name. It happens to us all the time. It didn't happen once. Or know something about him, but it didn't happen once. But leaving, the theater people were all about my daughter. My daughter was all about her. They knew each other. They had done a camp we had paid for. She was glowing. His chapter is ending. Hers is beginning. Like, it's now her. This is her high school. This is her journey. These are her friends. She went to a volleyball game day 2. She's only been in school 3 days. Today's the 3rd day. Anyway, that's weirdly sad. I don't know. It was just so sad. That day was so sad. I didn't want people to see me at work because if I was going to cry, isn't that weird? Like, I was like, I don't want to talk to people at work. It's going to be emotional. Like, why? I wanted to save them from that. But it's like, you're sad because that part again is ending. So the little one, he's going to 7th grade. And every time we do something with the little one, it's the last time we'll have a 7th grader. It's the last time we're very aware of the little one. And then we're very aware of the older one. Like, the first time we'll do anything with the little one, the last time we'll do anything. But I'm so glad that my daughter's in the middle and she's the only girl and she's got her own thing. And because it makes it like jolts us into reality. Like, life is still happening. Life is lifing. Like, my daughter's like, life is lifing, guys. She's got her outfits ready for first day. She's like living, and the rest of us are like still mourning that one person left. But it is sad. The first day I got up, I was like avoiding his room. I could not walk by his room, and I see my husband, and my husband's already crying. He's like, "Have you been in the room?" Like, hell no, I'm not gonna go in the room. 2 days pasaron and he's already in there cleaning the room. I'm like ready to have a freaking heart attack. Like, why are you cleaning his room? He's like, he's gone. Let's like, it's just sacando cosas. He's putting plants in there. The room is beautiful. It's now his office. And I'm just like, wait. This is happening too fast. Everything that first week was so sad. Church without him was so sad. Going to church, it was so sad. One day, just me and Diego, our viejito asses, just by ourselves at church. Like, what the fuck? And Diego's like, I'm okay. Like, I love that. One day, just me and you. And this shit is hella sad. I told him that when the last one goes to college, he needs to have an expensive ass, all-inclusive Maldives vacation because I cannot come back home to this house. Los pinches perros and nothing else. Like, I'm like, I cannot. And I came back and was sad without. No, he's not driving his car. Diego took him off the insurance. Everything is sad. Everything. And then one mom checks in with me, una mamake, who's also sending her kid this week to San Diego State. They're best friends. They grew up together. They went to the same elementary. They're still homies. She came to his graduation party. She's like, I know that it happened today. How are you doing? Like, how are you feeling? And she had already sent one to Davis, que ya regresó 4 years later. And I'm like, everything is so sad. She's like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. It's going to keep being sad. You're going to go to the supermarket. You're going to put things in the cart. And you're going to realize, oh, he's not here. This was for him. Let me take it out of the cart. You guys, I was like, crying. I was like, I hear it. I feel it. So I'm in a weird mourning stage. I'm just in a mourning stage of like, he doesn't need us. In the episode before this, I talked about how he was a brat when we dropped him off and he wanted to figure out his own life and his own world, which, you know, he's come full circle and he's been really pleasant from a distance. But their life changes and they're out there living. And we went to UCSB. So all the growing up that happened when we left, right? Like, to know that your babies are doing that too. Like, to know that your babies are out till who knows what time, where, with who. Like, you're mourning. Yes, Vero's over here doing signs of all the things that are illegal. You are mourning that you can't protect them, that they're not under your roof anymore, that they don't come home. Like, they would come home. I don't know what that kid is doing. And I'm okay with it. I did it too. Lord knows. Lord knows, right? I'm okay.
Lord knows.
Lord knows the way I was. I reap what I sow. I had a blast. I wanted my kid at my party school. Like, send him to another party school. What can I expect? But it all is still very sad because little kids, they are no more. Little kids, they are no more. And for people who can't have kids, like, I'm with you, like, how sad, right? Those of us that have them, we should be so present and so blessed to have had that journey and to be the parent of an adult child. Y'all, this is like a different world. He's 18 years old and I'm trying to like be the parent of an adult. And like, their choices are their choices. I saw something today, like, if your 18-year-old turns around and wants to get a tattoo, it is their body. If they turn around and they want to make shitty choices and they're going to learn from their shitty choices, it is their choice to make. Like, oh, so I'm just mourning this other area of my life era where I could like protect them, baby them, keep them safe, keep them bubble wrapped. There's nothing wrong with tattoos, by the way, or any of that. But it's just, the point is that they're 18 and they can do them. Anyway, it's a happy and a sad. It's a sad and a happy, like I started to begin with. So to all the mamas out there that have sent their kids to college, I feel you. It's not really about just that one. If you have multiple kids, I know that it becomes very final. All of it starts to become final, like it's coming to a close. Even when I bought this house, I was already sad because I thought this house is going to be too big for us in 6 years. Y ya se siente así. So isn't it crazy? Anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm slowly better. I'm so glad we didn't have this conversation last Friday, because I would have been waterworks on the floor. Time heals all sadness, because I feel so much better this week. My son communicating with us in the 60 different ways. He sends me TikToks. He texts me. We talk online. He got a LinkedIn, and I friended him, and he wrote back, "Good evening, Irene. Nice to meet you. I hope that you, your family, and your two lovely dogs are having a great evening." Anyway, we're now talking on LinkedIn. Like, I'm trying to keep my distance. I'm happier now, and I'll continue to be happy. But do not, if this podcast is still going when the little one goes to college, I'm going to be a puddle of tears, but also happy sad. So thanks for indulging me, ladies.
Of course. Oh my God. Qué bonito. And, just that experience, and you know, both parents, you and Diego, like being there for support, y como dices tú, dejarlos. And I think one of the, you didn't say this, but you alluded to this, and we've seen it with you through you parenting, your entire life parenting, is the one thing that has been many things have been consistent, but one of the most important things that I think you and Diego have that has been consistent is that all these years of parenting, no se han dejado de you guys haven't stopped dating. You guys continue to have that dating, because el día de la mañana, when you're empty nesters, like on top of like taking that Maldives vacation, cuando regresan dropping off Noah, you guys are gonna have each other,
Yeah.
Han mantenido esa conexión. So I think that's a great tip for us to see, like, continue dating your spouse, because when they fly off the nest, it's just you too. So thank you for sharing. Qué bonito.
Yeah, Cecy, and your girls are gonna leave at the same time. It's
I know.
all gonna happen. It's like having a single child, so that you two have still been so close. And like my husband says, like, I'm looking forward to when it's just us. You're right. Like, keep making time for each other, enjoying each other's company, loving each other. Like, you cannot make your world your kids, because then what the hell are you gonna have in common with your partner? And why would you even want to be alone with your partner, which is not the kid that you've revolved around? So, yeah, you're right. Absolutely, Cecy. And we're going to be there for you ×2 when they both move out and you guys go from 2 to 0. It's going to be okay, because they're both going to go to Berkeley and live at home.
Híjole.
Real grief now. Now traditional grief.
Traditional grief and the loss of someone. ¿Qué les puedo contar? Oh, my God. So I feel like I share a lot with you guys, with my emotions and whatnot. As our listeners know, and, if you're new to this, thank you for being here and for sticking through this Chillona episode. But, I lost my mom at the beginning of the year in January after a long, long battle with cancer. I don't even like to say the word anymore, because I detesto esa enfermedad, pero bueno. And so, the grief was definitely harder in the beginning, just like knowing that she's not there. And, but it also brought me peace, because I know she was no longer suffering. And like now when I look back at pictures and like I just see her like bien flaquita, like I'm just like, oh my God, my mom, pobrecita,
Yeah.
So I prefer to, like, when I post about her, like, I prefer to put pictures of when she was well, when she was like happy, because like that's how I remember her now. Like, I don't remember her like how she looked anymore, like, because like she didn't smile anymore. Anyway, so yeah, so the grief goes in waves for sure. I remember like having months of like pretty much crying every day, like, and I allowed myself to cry every day. And then now it's not a daily thing, it just comes out of nowhere, like, and like I think a day or two ago, like with my husband, we were talking about like my mom's like final day, and then like I started crying. So different things that happened that caused me to cry. Lately it's been, and I've been sharing with you ladies, like I've been like I guess I'm perimenopausal, and so just that, like just having that like not being able to share that and having that conversation with my mom, like that's like so painful, you know, like just like pick up the phone, Mom, you know, I'm going through this, like how was it for you, you know. My mom was never like a sharer, so I never heard that like when she went through menopause. But like a year ago, I remember asking her, I'm like, hey mom, how old were you when you went through menopause? And she told me. But just like the random talks that I would have with my mom, I would call my mom every day just to check to see how she was doing, to platicarle, you know, cualquier cosa, tonteria, whatever. And like recently when I went to the doctor for this, I just like missed her so much. I'm like, oh my God, this is stuff that I would call her and like just have that chat and ask her like, what about this and what about that, and I'm feeling this. So you know, that has been like kind of heavy on my mind, and like wanting to talk to her about that, and not having someone that I feel comfortable like sharing all that with, and except my mom. Se me salen las lágrimas, pero I mean, yo sé que está en un mejor lugar. My dad, on the other hand, has been like going through it. Like he's been very depressed. They're that type of couple that like my mom was like very hands-on and did a lot of like things for like them, as you know, handle their financials, and so todo eso estaba acostumbrado a my dad. And so I always thought, especially like in the last year, like, you know, if my mom were to miss, like, I don't think my dad is gonna, you know, stay much longer. I don't know. I have that feeling, and it's like so sad to think, but it's like, you know, for me, it's hard to, I mean, I guess I accept it, but at the same time, it's hard because it's out of my, like, things that are out of my control. Like, siempre, you guys know me gusta tener como todo controlado, organizado, but when it's like things out of my control, like, hoy me desespero, me estreso. You know, this week I got sick, and it's like, it's like bugging me that I can't do like my work, and I had to stay in bed, and like my back is like messing with me or whatever. So it's like, anyway, so it's stressful. It's, you know, the grief is there, but I allow space for it, if it makes sense. Like, I don't keep it in. Like, if I, you know, like if I want to talk about, I feel like I always have like, with my mom, I always have like, reasons to bring her up, or like, oh, okay, esto, you know, especially during the day, like I want to say for sure every day there's, you know, and I feel like that's how I keep her memory alive with us, and just keep her presence, su espíritu, and with my girls too, because I want them to always remember my mom, and like, oh my God, remember when your grandma did this or whatever. So that's how I keep her memory alive. And you know, sometimes there's cries, sometimes there's laughs, because oh my God, remember when my mom said this or whatever, things like that. And yeah, so anyway, going back to the grief and like feeling it. So I allow myself to feel it. Like if I feel like I'm going to cry, then I let it happen. If I want to talk about her, like I talk about her. I also journal. When I have a dream about her, if I remember in the morning, I try to write it down and share it with my siblings. Like, hey, this happened. Have you guys had dreams with mom lately? You know, things like that. And with the girls, you know, looking at pictures. Was it today? Yeah, it was today. I was walking them. They're back in school now, so I was walking them. So they go to a Catholic church. So I was walking right next to the church, and about to make a right hand turn to go into the school. And like as we were walking, there was this a hummingbird just kind of flew in front of us, like. And then so now that when they see the hummingbird, like, oh, abuela, you know, un signo de abuela, o la abuela nos mandó un colibrí. So we saw it, and we all smiled, and we're like, oh, abuela, you know, they said. And so I told them, I'm like, yep, she came to check on you guys. She knows that you guys are in second grade, so aquí las está cuidando, you know. So things like that. Esas cositas like me traen alegría, because like I I don't know. I want to think and believe that that's really her sending those message. And like my mom, as you know, was chiquita pero picosa, and her presence and her love and everything. I feel like desde donde esté, like I feel like she has this power to do those things, like send us the message and visit us in our dreams. And so that's what I believe, that's what I feel, and like that makes me feel better, because I know que no está sufriendo, and that she's happy desde donde está, and she's watching over us, and she's like our guardian angel. So that makes the grieving process easier. But yeah, of course, there's times when I'm like, oh, like extraño. Like my niece's 15 this summer, like we missed her so much. It was so sad, like that she wasn't there. And I'm like, damn it, my mom, should have been here. And the oldest grandkids going to college. I'm like, damn, like she doesn't get to see this. But then I remind myself, well, yeah, she does, because she's up there. Los está cuidando. So a way that I'm thinking of like honoring her during my upcoming trip, for example, I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, maybe I can visit like some of the spots that she visited in Madrid, and like, I don't know, take a picture, like maybe a picture that she took, like retake it. I don't know. Así son cositas. Es que me hacen pensar like, oh, maybe I should do that. And what else? One last thing that I wanted to share. Oh, I try to always like wear something that belonged to her. Like I usually have like a little chain, una cadenita de la Virgen that she was always wearing at the end. I took it off her right before they took her. So I kept that. So I always try to wear that, or like a piece of jewelry that belonged to her. So this is a ring that I wear. It has like it actually looks like a serpent, pero it's her initials. It's CG, Cecilia Garcia. And I think she had this like in the 70s, like when she was young, este anillo de oro. And so I wear it. I wear it mostly daily. And yeah, that's like, I look at it, I'm like, oh, my mom, and so just having those little reminders. So, I mean, again, it's the first year. And like, I also hear from other women that I've befriended that have lost their moms. Like the first year is like the hardest, because it's, it's like the waves, the emotions come to you out of nowhere, and you just have to ride the wave and be okay. Make space for the grief. I think that's a tip I would give. Make space for the grief. No te lo encierres. Like, talk to your family members, talk to your therapist if you have one. If you need one, like get a consultation, and keep their memories alive. And, doing things like this, writing in your journal, keeping like a memento or a piece of jewelry or a piece of clothing, right, from your loved one. And know that different stages in your life might, special events, like, I don't know, the holidays, I could see where like perhaps that will be hard this year. Again, so, keep that in mind, keep it in mind. I know. Anyway, ya hablo un montón, but that's what, what I wanted to share, that it's kind of comes and goes, the wave, y aquí estamos.
And the tip of the day is going to be to let yourself grieve. You said it a couple different times. So thank you, Cecy, for being a good example of like letting yourself feel it, letting yourself cry, letting yourself share. Some people don't necessarily want to share, but if you share by journaling, like you said, or crying and spending time alone, like feel it all. The best thing is to feel it. So thank you for always being so candid with us and open with us and helping us through it, so we don't feel any shame for having our feelings. So that's really important. That's a big tip. So thank you for sharing it.
Yes, and having amigas like nosotras or a support group, and grief comes in all different types of shapes, forms, de todo un poco. This was definitely the Chillona episode. So thank you for listening, and thank you for just being here and sharing space with us. So air it all out, let it all out, and vent. We have a great support in the Guilt Free Squad. That's our group coaching sessions that we have with Level Up Latina. They happen once a month. Check that out in our website, leveluplatina.com. Also, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Our handle is at leveluplatina. También, if you follow us or you're just following us, check out our upcoming annual breakthrough brunch that's happening on October 12th. There are still tickets available. It's a great space and it's a great opportunity for you to mingle and network with other women and brunch, and we're gonna have a great panel of guests that day. So check it out. Compren sus boletos con tiempo, and nos vemos el 12 de octubre. Anything else? Any parting words, chicas?
Love you. Love you all.
Love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being chillonas with us on this episode. Besos.
Love you, girls.
Love you.
Thank you for sharing.